you all, it's Agnes coming to you with two jars that I have no idea where I got it from. That I do wanted to actually dress it up, and I had them on my desk for the longest time ever. So it's time to see what I can do with it. And I do wanted to bring it into like a different era. So of course there will be some distressing involved in there, and of course a detail. So I've just checked, and it seems like the pieces that I had the leftovers, again, because I am constantly playing with the molds, silicone molds and hot glue, uh, it seems like they would work. So I do not have enough, so I decided to make some more again. And at the same time show you how is that being done. As you can see, is I'm just using my big gun to fill those silicone molds. And in order for it to look good, I do want it to shake it out here and there. And of course, I am very impatient and I ripped the half of it. So you better off wait up until everything is just finished. But again, I just refilled it and now I have a whole big stick. But I know I'm going to be cutting. So it's not a big deal. So now what I wanted to do is, and this is actually, I'm applying a Mod Podge to my lid and to entire jar. There are two reasons that I'm doing it. One of them is because I am going to be painting and I am going to be attaching some kind of a glazing. So I've heard that applying a little bit of the Mod Podge before you start painting, first of all, any kind of paint distributes itself better. Plus, I am literally hoping for maybe it's tiny crackle. Well, I am using a Mod Podge, so maybe there will be not much of a crackle, but you know what? I am here to make it look like it is old, piece. So you know what? I'm just going to hope that there will be some. But at the end of the day, I do not want my paint, at least in a working process, to, come off, peel off. So now I'm applying my chalk paint, and as you can see is, again, I'm using the Home Depot brand. It's a Bear. As I was telling you, that's the one I actually prefer, especially I paint so much. And it does seem like the first coat over the glass covers it beautifully. So I don't think I'm going to apply more because, I guess I would have to because I stick my finger in there. Okay, so I, of course, do not want it to dry it, but for the purpose of this video, I am going to do so. And of course, I need to patch it up a little bit here and there with some areas because obviously I am so excited about this project. I wanted to sort of be already past the painting stage. And as I'm drying this, notice that the crackle is coming up. This is what always happens. You don't want it, it happens. I mean, not that I don't want it, but I wasn't expecting it. I was just hoping that it's going to be some. So now I'm just going to paint the lid and the bottom of it, and of course I'm going to repeat it the same to with the other jar and lids, and obviously I'm not going to hold you through this whole process. Even though my jars are dry, I am going to still leave them alone for a little bit and work on my hot glue molds. So my original choice was to use that bigger rose border out of my molds. And by the way, if you do like to have the link to those molds, let me know and I will for sure help you out in the comments. So I am painting it again with the chalk paint. I'm trying to, bring as little of different paints as possible. Now I'm trying to see if when I'm going to hold, because it has a different width, if I'm going to close my lid all the way, will that interfere with the whole closing mechanism? Because obviously I do not want to use that feature. And it does seem like that I will be able to do it. The reason why I was actually trying it, because some of the portions of that border are a little bit higher than the height of the lid, and I did not want that to stick out on the top of the lid. I actually would not mind if it sticks out on the bottom where it's closer to a jar. And it seems like when I tried, everything was opening. So I am hot gluing the hot glue molds. How funny that is. And it's of course because that trim is super thick. See, I'm trying to make sure that I am not going too low and I'm not going to scratch off what I've worked on. So, okay, this is the worst part of the whole thing. It's just actually trying to match up the design with such a thick mold. But you know what? I'm just going to try to do the best and cut some little dents here and there and imitate whatever the connection was there. Have to submit the request of those molds to come a little bit longer, at least so they can fit my jar. No, kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's just simply, there's going to be for sure a little sign, but I am going to try to do my best. So as you can see is, as I'm hot gluing this, obviously you do have to hold on to it for a little bit, but I do still have a rim of my jar showing, and I actually do like that because it's smooth. I may later maybe figure out something, but you know what, for now I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So it seems like all is good. So now it's time to have fun and see if whatever idea I had for it. Now look at this. That little doorknob that I've got with you at one of my home goods trips, I am finally able to use the other two. Hooray! Now I'm going to be looking for more of those jars because I want to scatter them all over the house. Okay, so now I think everything is according to the plan. I'm not going to really hold you through the second jar, but as you can see, I'm using my fingernail and cleaning a little bit of the paint all around it, so it does have the pretty finish. Not wanted to introduce any brush, and that was quick. Man, thank goodness for my big nail. Okay, so now I wanted to just do the touch-ups again in this whole process and make sure that my hot glue molds are painted on all the edges, because the worst thing that can happen is when you're going to see the hot glue actually there. So I'm just, adding little coats here and there, dabbing, making sure that all the details are close. And I have to tell you, I do like it already. I mean, I was like so tempted to do my Mackenzie child because it's so easy. Now you all have all those, segments there. But you know what? I'm going to drop it for now. So now I had a moment of hesitation because I was like, do I go wax way as I originally planned, or I go to my coloring? But I've decided to start with my dark wax, and as you can see, I have a dark and a clear wax. The clear wax is actually neutralizing the dark wax. So I applied a good amount of a dark wax, and now I'm just wiping off my brush and sort of distributing everything all around my jar. And the good thing is, now look at that, the little crackle that it happened that I didn't ask for. It actually looks so good. It looks like this is ancient jar right now. I mean, again, this is me, but I've absolutely love to be surprised as I craft and see, what the project is directing and which direction the project is actually going. So I'm repeating the same steps here, trying to make sure that I brush off more from the higher points on my jar and leaving, the dark wax right in the middle. But because it's all fresh, it's so easy to move the wax all around. So obviously I am doing it right on the bottom right now on one jar. And I do want to bring that sort of a dark hues right from the bottom to and then from the top to create sort of some kind of enclosure. I mean, I do not know how to tell you, but that's what I'm trying to do. See, I'm trying to get more of a dark wax on the bottom, distribute it gently up to the top, and then of course wipe off my details. I promise it takes a little longer to get the right shading from me. I just push the button for the video to go a little bit faster so I don't hold you too long, so you can see the whole process. So I'm again repeating it, going back to the old jar. And then usually what I like to do is when I use the wax, I usually like to wait to a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours in between each application, especially when I add the shading, because it looks much better. But you know what, it's for the purpose of this video, I'm just trying to show you the shortcut. So now I do have the rub-on gold. So instead of using my finger, I am going to simply use this, flat paintbrush, and I'm going to distribute in the areas that I am really the most, that I wanted to accent more. So obviously these are those little grooves. And I'm not going to go anywhere else with it except the details on my lid and maybe on my doorknob, but just the grooves. For the simple fact is that I do want for all of this to cure to see what am I going to do. And I know I will be coming back to this jar tomorrow again to add on more highlights, but again, you can rush as many steps as you can, but there's certain ones you can't. See, like I do love the gold right on my flowers, but I want to see a little bit more of it, and I can't really get it because everything is just so fresh. So I'm just going to leave it and of course wipe it with my fingers and buff it off. That's why it calls rub and buff. And add in some areas a little bit more, or maybe I'm going to even bring later my liquid gold, but it's not going to happen until all the wax settles. And as you can see is my doorknob had a lot of the black accent. So I do wanted to neutralize this, and of course I'm bringing the rub and buff, the gold color to it just to match the rest of it, and it seems like I am getting close to the colors of my jars, so I am neutralizing the black, distressing right in there. So now I'm applying the super glue, and I know that I would have to drill the holes, but that has to happen later. Goodness, my doorknobs have that shorter prong, so it's going to be much nicer on the inside of this jar, because I do actually wanted to be able to use that knob to turn my jar, the top on. But again, this is just for now. Oops, and it just fell right there, and it created a slow mess. Here they are. I just absolutely love them. So here are some pictures of the stage that I had to stop and wait until the wax and all the layers that I've added on it will cure on my jars. I absolutely love it. You would not even say that these are made out of glass, obviously, until you open it. You can already see a lot of things, inside them, and decorating the areas that I'm going to put them in. Now look at this, the little tray that we made together with the gold leaf actually looks perfectly on that with those jars. So it's, again, I really hope that I inspired you to take any jars and at least try a new technique and try to see where the project will lead you and decorate your house a little bit differently. Again, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. And if you did enjoy, please don't forget to sprinkle. Bye.